By definition, rational numbers is anything you can write as a fraction. All right, so any fraction is rational, like 1/3, or anything as a fraction with a number. Well, 1/3 is a fraction, so it's rational. So if I look at that list of numbers you sent me, that's rational. All right. What about 5, or a whole number? Anything that can be written as a fraction, well, a whole number can be rewritten as a fraction if it's over 1. So this is rational. Negative has nothing to do with it. It's fine. It's rational. Okay. Now, what is a fraction? A fraction is a decimal. So fraction 1/3 is the same thing as 0.3 repeating. If you put that in your calculator, you get 0.3 repeating. I put that little bar over it. So any kind of decimal that has a decimal repeating. All right, so this guy right here, 0.5 repeating, that is a rational number. 0.9. Well, 0.9 is, that's 9/10 if you read it out loud. That's 9/10. So any kind of decimal that goes on forever with a little line on it, or terminates, it just ends. Okay, this one just ends, so that's rational. This guy, see the dot, dot, dot? That means that this decimal goes on forever, and it never repeats. It doesn't do any of this repeating business. It's like pi. You know how pi is 3.14 dot, dot, dot? Goes on forever, never repeats. So this is irrational. This is not a rational number. It's not a rational number. All right, so this leaves us with the square roots. If you can take the square root and type it in your calculator, and it gives you a decimal or a whole number, or a decimal that repeats, or it just terminates, then it's rational. If not, it's not rational. So if I put the square root of 25 in my calculator, hit enter, I get 5. So that's rational. If you put the square root of 8 in your calculator, you get this big long, let me grab a calculator. If you put square root of 8 in your calculator, well, mine comes up to this. Shoot. How do I turn it to where it's a decimal? There, it pops up to this. See how these numbers don't repeat any? Well, it doesn't stop. If it repeats and gets this big jumble, then this is irrational. This is not a rational number. We call it irrational. So this is not rational. So the ones I circled are rational, and the ones I marked off are irrational.